Okay guys, this is Joe, Drone Man Productions. I'm going to show you today an unboxing, a setup, and everything of the Knight Turbo Timber X. This is an old plane. It's been around for about a year. There's many videos, but what I'm going to show you is an A to Z, okay? There's not a lot of people out there to show you how to put the floats on, how to do reverse thrust, a lot of different things with this setup. So for those that are new to this hobby and got the Knight Turbo Timber X, I'm going to show you everything I know about how to do this. The Knight Turbo Timber right there. So the first thing is we have one of the wings, and we have safe, Rise and Hobby. We have flaps, and we have ailerons. We have, I think these are the rear stabilizers. Here we go. Here we go. Look at those. Nice and beefy. Beefy. These go on the front. What these are going to go on the front of the wing on each side. Like we did on the Turbo Timber UMX Turbo Timber. They're going to go on there. I think it's 14 inches. And this is what they call the Knight Timber because it's going to light up on the sides, and it's also going to light up on each of the wings. Okay everybody, as you can see, everything is laid out here. We have the wings and the fuselage. We have our stabilizers and have our leading edges. We have our plugs and all sorts of little gadgets in here, and we'll get into that in the build. What we are going to put on, these are the floats. We're going to be doing some winter ops and on snow and ice and everything, and that's when I want to take this plane out and sit there and give a really good rundown. The floats, they're inside this bag, and I will embag this, and I'm going to show you how to install these floats. And it's going to be a step-by-step, so just watch this. And what I did was I took off all of the connectors that are on here, and on each side of the floats, or the front and the back of the struts. Put this, the front strut in here, put that in there, make sure that lines up there, and then put this front one in and make sure that one lines up. Take the back one, put that in there. Okay, so they line up. You want to put these struts in there, and they have to line up to the hole, that hole, that hole, and that hole right there. Okay? Then we're going to take our front strut, okay? And I'll show you this when I sit there and get this in there. Pop that in each side, okay? And then we're going to take our back strut, and that is going to actually go right into this hole here. That goes in there like that, okay? All right, so each of these go in there. Screw these down in there. Okay guys, I got this all secured up. This is the way it's supposed to look. The struts are on there, and they're in there very nice and tight. Okay, nothing pulling. Put on these little struts, and they go on this area right here, and this one goes on the rear. Put that in there. I don't want to tighten it up too much. Here we go. On the second one, that goes there, and that goes there. And the next thing is we're going to assemble it onto the plane itself. Put them on there. We have to go over each of the front, and we're just going to put them on there. Push that down. And we take these little struts that we attach to the floats, and we're going to put them in there. And then we're going to do the same thing the other side. It seems to be very nice inside there. So we have the front strut all connected inside there. What I want to do is back something up, because when I attached the back of the floats, I didn't show you. There's this little plastic device right here. You unscrew it, you pop it off, you put down the back floats in there, and then you pop that back in. So that's what I want to tell you. So those are the fronts. That's where those front struts connect in, and that is that. So, well, how do we attach that? We have this fish line is attached to the float, and it comes all the way up here with this little pin. Hopefully you can see that. And they go into this shaft, into this part right here that connects to the rudder, because that's how it controls it. You know, you have your rudder control, okay, and that controls your floats. A little tricky here, and I'm going to give you a little idea of what I did. So if you put the floats down, see how they bend up in case you hit something in the water, they will go up so they don't bust off. I will recommend to you that when I first stretched out the fish line to put it into this hole here, it was short. It would not go all the way up. And I was like, all right, and that was on each side. So I was like, all right, they didn't give me enough line. They tied off this little knot into that area right there too soon. Didn't give enough. They should have given another inch or so before they put the knot down there. Well, I'm not really good at tying knots, so I had loosened this up a little bit to give me some slack so I could pull the knot up a little bit, and then I stretched and I pulled the knot and I got it to move up the fish line about an inch. That's what I needed. I needed about an inch to get it in there to set this up properly. Then I set it back down, and what you do is you have these springs right here, and they go onto the outer hole on each side of this, on the pontoons, and the same thing on the other side over there, okay? So you put that up, you connect that on there, you pull that line up, and then you put it in the hole. And when you're putting it in the hole, you want to make sure that when you're pulling this is going to pull, and make sure this lines up pretty straight, okay? And you do that on both sides. And I got it to line up. I didn't have to sit there and cut it off and put any type of new fish line extension and everything whatsoever. And I was like, oh, come on, Horizon, give me a break. So that's how you connect that, and that controls off of the rudder, obviously. So, you know, if you turn your rudder, I'm going to turn it a little bit. As you see, they will turn the float rudders. We're going to put on the elevators on the back, on each side, and we have two different rods. There's a steel rod and there's a carbon fiber rod. If you want to sit there and do acrobatics in 3D and everything whatsoever, you're going to want to use the steel rod. We're not doing that, okay? So, we're going to use the carbon fiber rod. So the first thing is with this in there, and then we're going to come over to this side into that hole there, okay? And grab the other one and put it into this side over here. You gotta get that in that hole there. This is out of there. I'm just gonna push it in there like that. What I wanna show you, and it's very hard to see, is the polarities. There is a plus and minus sign on this area right here. Okay, so the plus is forward, which means that plug, the red is positive, the brown is negative. And I got red forward, that's positive. We're gonna put that in there. That's for your LEDs on that side. And it will say on this side, negative there and positive over this side, which means red back. All right, so those holes you see right there and there, they're lined up. We're gonna put screws in there. But before I do that, and we're gonna attach the horn, the control horn, on the farther out hole. So that's in there. Okay, so I pushed it through that hole there, and I snapped this up and popped it into there. The hole's there and there. We're going to put that screw in there, screw that down. Yeah, I think that's in there. Yeah, I don't think they're coming out. Once they go in, they're not coming out because they're going to attach the right wing. That's this one over here. Follow one plug at a time. The first one is we have flap. Okay, so this is the right flap. Okay, a right wing. Flap R, that means flap right. Okay, so we have that one in. Aileron, and aileron right. So we're looking for aileron right, and that's there. Okay, what we're gonna do is get the spaghetti mess right here, kind of put into some kind of a zip ties. Grab one and put this first one here. You don't want to tie them too tight, and we'll go for the second one. I'm going to put one over this side also. Yeah. Let's cut off all of the excess there. Next thing is wing on, and then we're going to bind it up. Feed all of these lead wires down inside there, and make sure they don't hit that that servo. And make sure we get that there, like you see, pushed in there. We're gonna have an issue when we're binding. We have to get to the receiver. How the fuck do we do that? We have to pull this off, pull that back a bit. Down inside there is our receiver, and we have to hit that bind button. We're going to be using a Smart Spectrum battery. This is a 3S 2200 11.1 volt. What we're going to do is we're going to plug in the plug, keep the prop off. All right, I'm using an NXA transmitter, and that is off. We're going to plug it in. We got all the lights there, and everything is lit up. We are going to hold in our bind button. Make sure we don't mess with that. Turn on our transmitter, and I am going to use the scroll button and go down into binding. It says bind, into the function list. Binding, yes. And I'm going to click over to bind. Two wags, we got it bound. It's bound up here and safe. And then next thing is that we want to do is we want to test the surfaces, and then we're going to assign a switch for safe and AS3X. So let's just try the surfaces. That's the rudder. Now let's try the elevators. Up and down, up and down. Ailerons. And they're working. And let's do flaps. Flaps are up. And they are working. Oh, fantastic. We want to assign Safe Select switch. Now we're going to use Safe Select on A switch. So what they say you have to do, like we always do, higher rates up. You're going to take your throttle sticks and move them down and into the center. Okay. And then we're going to toggle the A switch back and forth, and hopefully it'll sit there and ding when it's done. There we go. All right, so safe is now working. Okay, the way I want it, and it's a personal choice, I want 0, which is the switch on A, to be back. Okay, and I want to be forward for AS3X means safety is off and we have much more freer movements and everything whatsoever. We all know what AS3X and safety is. Okay, so safety on. Safety off. Now we're going to try the throttle. Alright, that's working. Okay, what we want to do is we want to set up the reverse thrust. Now, in the manual, it'll tell you one thing because this manual is rather old for the Turbo Timber X. Follow what I'm saying. On the NX8 transmitter, it's a little bit different from other transmitters. Turn on the transmitter first, and that's on. And then we're going to plug in the plane to scroll all the way down to avian programming. Make sure safety switch is off. Make sure your throttle cut is on. Okay. And then what we're going to do, take this switch right here, and we're going to hold it down. And it turned to 2, as you see right there. And we're going to go into the programming menu. And then after that, okay, so we're going to go to brake type. Click over here. Normal. Proportion. Reverse. And brake type force, I'm going to click down there. Go to 7. Can be standard. Okay, so we have brake type reverse and brake force 7. Come down, keep clicking down, keep clicking down. Reverse channel, I believe that is going to be on, this is G, and that's 7, okay, hopefully. And exit with save. And when we do that, hopefully the plane will sit there and just hold on, and I'm going to hold on to the plane. Alright, so the plane basically set back up and set all the reverse thrust and everything whatsoever, and it reset itself, and we're going to put on the prop. Okay, and then we're going to finally get to test the reverse thrust and make sure everything's going forward, left, right, and everything. So we have to take off the nose cone, and we're going to sit there and screw this, and that gets popped off, and that's kind of loose. That's a beefy little nut. I'm going to pop this on here. Okay, seems to be fitting nice. Screw that down, and I have to torque that. I'm just going to use a big open wrench and torque it down and make sure it's nice and taut. That's looking good. And then we're going to put our nose cone back on, and we're going to screw this in here. Don't want that flying off either. And next what we're going to do is we're going to plug it back in. We're going to test out the throttle front, and hopefully throttle back is working, and it should be going forward. The plane's pulling forward. Okay. That's blowing, actually the wind is blowing forward to blow the plane backwards. Okay. All right, so that's what I did for reverse thrusters and everything whatsoever. Okay guys, now we set up the reverse thrust. I do want to go back to one thing. On my NX8, it is assigned over here to this switch, which is channel 7 G switch, and that is where it is assigned. Now you could choose a different open channel on your transmitter, but I'm using it over here. This is where throttle cut is on and off, and this is where it's going to be for reverse thrust. So the next thing is we have front slats, and that's these guys right here. And when you're placing these on, there's a left, you'll notice over here there's a left and then there's a right. Okay, so the left goes on the left, And what you're going to find to put them on is you want to peel off these little tabs right here, okay? And these kind of just come off, and these, you don't even have, you know, if you ever took off these front slats, and the front slats give you better lift on shorter takeoffs, and they're going to give you to land in shorter spots and everything. So you just pull these off. All right, so just peel them back. Okay, you see this little groove right there, in each of them. Okay, that little groove. We have the right one. Now, the edge faces forward, so they're just going to go into each one of these holes, and then we're going to glue them in, and that's it. Real simple on each side. We're going to drop in a little bit of foam glue on each one of these holes or slats right there that are in them. Push this in and go from there. All right, just going to put this, line it up in there. Push it down. There. I think it's going in. You can see. A little hard. There. And there. All right, you guys got it. So we're going to do the same procedure over here for this side, and then we will be pretty much finished up with the assembly and radio setup, reverse transmitter, floats, everything from A to Z. Okay guys, this is the finale of the Knight Turbo Timber X. It's all set up, and I want to show you one other thing before I sit there and turn it on and give you a full rundown of everything. I forgot about putting the plugs or these screws into the wing, and they simply just go in here, screw them down till they catch onto each side. A Phillips to drive it down on each side. But to torque them down, what I recommend is getting yourself a flat blade. And push that in. Just turn it a little bit. Okay, you don't want to sit there and strip them out. You don't want to strip out those Phillips heads. So you just turn those in. Okay, that is not going anywhere. So that's the final of everything, you know. Okay, we got the NX8 transmitter on. We fired up the Knight Timber X, and we have we're using a Spectrum 2200 mAh 3S 11.1 volt 30C. Great little battery. All of the floats are on, and this is a overview of everything. See all the lights and everything. And I'll turn the lights off here in a second. Just to give you an overview. It's all set up. But there's a lot of information in here, and I hope you enjoy it. Now I'm going to turn off the lights, and this is the Knight Timber X. Okay. Looks gorgeous. Very bright. If you can't see this bastard in the night, then I don't know what the hell to tell you, because there's no lights on here, and that's underneath over there. Everything underneath the elevators. It's looking good. You got red light up there. It's looking good, and that's the overview. Now, the only thing I have to do is get it out on a nice day, and we will sit there and get it taken care of. Alright guys, that is it for Drone Man Productions on the Knight Timber X. It's an oldie, but like I said, this video is for anybody who sit there and never built one. From A to Z, everything is on there. The unbox, the build, the floats, reverse thrust, radio transmitter setup, everything is on there, okay? So check it out. If you have any questions, let me know. If you like it, yay! Give a thumbs up, like, subscribe, and we'll go from there. I salute. Drone Man out. Talk to you soon. and have a great day. Bye.